Hello guys, so today we're going to learn Sri Lanka on Geoguessr. So previously on the channel we have made videos about India and Bangladesh, so today we're going to learn how to guess Sri Lanka on Geoguessr. With the help of the Plunkett guide as well as that we're going to play AI generated Sri Lanka after we finish the guide. So today let's start by covering Sri Lanka. So let's directly get in the video by basically addressing how to identify Sri Lanka and what major regional clues are there to identify kind of regional guessing. It's not easy to guess regions on this island, but generally if we get how to identify the country, I think we're okay. So firstly, we're going to identify how Sri Lanka looks like. So Sri Lanka is in this kind of shape. It's in the southern part of India. So the domain name of Sri Lanka is .lk. It drives on the left side of the road, and as well as that, the camera generations. So only 9.6% of Sri Lanka is crop cam, which is, having a huge blur on the bottom basically, kind of like India. So basically India coverage in Sri Lanka, that's only 9.6%. You're going to get rarely, I think so. So we're going to only focus on these two. Generation 3 coverage and Generation 4 coverage. So 50% of the coverage in Sri Lanka is Generation 3 coverage. Generation 4 coverage is only 40% of the coverage, 40.4%. So we're going to explain how the camera generations can be identified in a bit. So first let's see these things. So firstly, vehicles in Sri Lanka have a long white font, but they also have yellow back. So basically they have white at the front as well as yellow at the back. In India, it's kind of, like white at the front, white at the back. In Bangladesh, it's, black and green. Yeah, but in Sri Lanka, it's only white and yellow. So that color combination with the front and the rear, that's very common in Sri Lanka. Yeah, so after that, this is how to identify the car generations of Sri Lanka. So firstly, let's talk about Generation 3 coverage. In Generation 3, you would have this type of Google car that's in Sri Lanka. So you have blue, white, and red. So basically in the colors of a police car, basically the French flag. So this type of Google car could also be found in Ghana. It has a similar car visible at the front. Yeah, but this huge car blur can identify you in Sri Lanka with this, the blue, red, the blue, white, red patches reminiscent of the French flag. This is used in, usually it's used in the Generation 3 coverage in Sri Lanka, so there's no problem in identifying that. As well as that, Generation 4 coverage in Sri Lanka is mostly made up of low camera. So basically, what is low camera? So low camera is actually the car coverage that's used in Switzerland and Japan, but in Generation 4 coverage, it's also used in Sri Lanka. So pretty much Sri Lanka could be recognized with the low cam, and it's pretty easy to recognize Sri Lanka in this case because it has a significant wide car blur at the bottom, as well as that. The roads would appear a bit bigger, as well as that. It kind of has a bit low coverage. Note that Generation 3 coverage is made with a normal height camera. So this is made with the normal camera, and this is made with the low camera. So So there are two major languages in Sri Lanka. There's Sinhala and Tamil. You may be already familiar with Tamil because Tamil is spoken in the southern part of India in the Indian state of Tamil Nadu. However, in the northern and eastern parts of Sri Lanka, you would get Tamil. But the national language of Sri Lanka is Sinhala, which famously is made up of Among Us-shaped characters. Famously on the internet, it is coined like that. So you can see a lot of eye-type shapes that are familiar in the game Among Us. As well as that, you could probably identify the language with all of these weird shapes that are all around. So this is easy to distinguish in the country. Most of the times, Sinhala and Tamil are on both sides because, most of the time, Sinhala is the only common language in Sri Lanka. There is little to no signs that are only written in Tamil. It's only both languages. This is because, the civil war in Sri Lanka happened, and because of that, the Sri Lankan government does not want to impose nationalism and, secession of the Tamils again and all that. So they want to make sure that the Tamils' ethnicity is kind of embedded into Sri Lanka a bit. So So Sinhala and Tamil are mostly common on both sides, and it's easy to recognize. Sri Lanka has typically unique pole stops. So usually this is the Sri Lanka pole. It has a lot of dots in between. So it can be n number of dots over here in the Sri Lanka poles, but also some of the Sri Lanka poles are also having holes in them, just like in Gujarat, which we learned in India. So these type of poles are very common in Sri Lanka, and there are also square poles. These type of poles are called square poles, and I need to remember them because they also have dots in them, also known as pinholes. I mean, they are pinholes, so not dots. Basically that. Sri Lanka also has stone bollards, with this one being white and black at the bottom, that being very covered in Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka also has a black and white striped signpost. That's very common in India, Bangladesh, and Malaysia. We've already learned that. As well as that, most rural lands in Sri Lanka would have white outer lines on the roads, which is pretty common. It will be able to decide a 50-50 in most countries. Yeah, in absence of other clues, that's probably going to happen. So most of the time, these small roads would lack road lines. But most of the time, if you could probably vibe it enough, I think you can get Sri Lanka, but maybe not. It's probably hard. But yeah, in a moving round, it's easy, and no moving NPZ, probably very hard. So yeah, Sri Lanka is a pretty tropical country. It has lush green vegetation and a patchwork of agricultural fields. Pretty lush, I could say. And also, it has reddish soil. So reddish soil is pretty less common. Oh, I mean, it's pretty more common, but less commonly in Sri Lanka you can encounter white soil and sandy soil. But most of the time it's the red soil, and I think white sandy soil is only found in the center of the country. I think so, but most of the time in the Sri Lanka you get reddish soil. I'm not a Geoguessr pro, so I don't think you can take my words very seriously, but I think it's probably like that. Only maybe if you practice a bit of Sri Lanka, you probably will get it. Let's see. So now we have palm trees that are very common in Sri Lanka. All over the country you can see a lot of palm trees. Pretty common in India, and yeah, they kind of have fan-shaped leaves, but also palm trees are also very common in the Philippines. Yeah, in many other Asian countries you could get palm trees. So yeah, it's pretty tough, I could say. Just see the driving direction. Philippines drives on the right side of the road, Sri Lanka drives on the left. So orange or red tiled roofs are very common in Sri Lanka. So basically the South Indian style of roofs are available here in Sri Lanka. Similar roofs can also be seen in parts of Indonesia, by the way. So yeah, this is a very common roof style in many parts of Southeast Asia and South Asia. So yeah, with the combination of palm trees, I think you get it. But palm trees are literally everywhere in the world, so I don't know if that's correct or not. Probably with the language, it's recognizable. So 70% of the population of Sri Lanka is Buddhist. So Buddhism is the most very common religion in Sri Lanka. It is common in the capital Colombo, as well as the city of Kandy, as well as the entire southwestern portion of the country around the capital area, because that area has a lot of coverage. So yeah, these Buddhist stupas you can find a lot in the country. This is the symbol of Buddhism, which is the Dharmic wheel. And these are some Buddhist temples with the Siddhartha Gautama in the middle. You could recognize him as the Buddha. Of course, you could probably recognize him. He's the major symbol in Sri Lanka, and with that, you'll be able to recognize. As well as that, there's the Buddhist flag. You can see there's the Romanian flag over here, but also you can see orange and white, both combined, as well as some other part of the flag that's also having this again. So this is the Buddhist flag, and of course Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos also have Buddhist flags, as well as Bhutan, as well as Northern India. They also have these type of flags. And yeah, it's pretty common to get confused, but in this type of landscape, I think you could easily recognize it as Sri Lanka, especially when it has the road signs and all that. You could identify the language. So Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity are also found in Sri Lanka. Hinduism, especially with these type of temples, and Muslims with this type of mosque, as well as Christianity. All these are found in various parts of the country. Yeah. So with that, the auto rickshaw, also known as the tuk-tuk, is also common in Sri Lanka. It's usually colored in green color, but also it can be yellow or red. But many other colors could appear, even blue could appear various times. Yeah. Next in Sri Lanka, you have the crab cam they're talking about. So yeah, this is the last step of identifying Sri Lanka. So basically, it's just like India coverage, where there's a huge carbler at the bottom, as well as the pole. You could probably identify that Sri Lanka, but most of the time in India 50-50, so it's pretty hard to. You could probably get cut off whenever these type of round comes. But yeah, hopefully you can get Sri Lanka with this type of infrastructure you can see here and all that. But otherwise, it's going to be pretty hard. Within Asia, India and Cambodia also have the cam coverage, also known as the crab cam coverage. So yeah. So now we have regional and province-specific clues. So Sri Lankan telephone numbers have 10 digits. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. So in the telephone of Sri Lanka, the first 2 digits of the country, I think I might have to remember this because it's pretty useful. Okay, Colombo is 11. The northern part of Sri Lanka is in the 2 digits. The area around Colombo, outside Colombo, in the middle area, has 3 at the start, with this area having 4, this area having 5, this area having 6. 7 is skipped entirely, and within that, 8 is in Kandy, and I think this is Gale, or maybe somewhere, I think this is Gale, but this corner of Sri Lanka has 91. So we have, I'm closing my eyes actually, I think I might try to remember them. 11 here, 22, and the Red is in the north part of the country, and 3 is in the middle. 4, I think, is in the south of the country, and then 5 is in the east. No, wait, no. Ah, gosh damn it, I got it wrong. Okay, I just opened my eyes to just remember that. Okay, let me just try again. 11 is in Colombo, and then we have north is 22, the middle is 23, 4 is in the south, 5 is in the center but not bordering the coast area, east of Kande, and the 6 is the eastern part, Batikola area, I think so. Yeah, and then 7 is skipped entirely. Kande is 8, starting with 8, and then 9 is Gale, or that corner of Sri Lanka. I think I got everything right. Let's go. So yeah, this is pretty much very understandable. I think I have to remember this entirely. If I practice this as well as these are called telephone numbers, also known as area codes of Sri Lanka. I think several countries have area codes, so I think I remember all these area codes of Sri Lanka, then I'll be perfectly fine with the country. Next, we have the religious map, and I think I'm okay with that. Actually, let's see the other religions of the country. I already mentioned Buddhism, but interestingly, Hinduism is actually very common in Kande, in the center part of the country. Batikola area, where the Tamils and the Jaffna area, the northern part is Hindu. So yeah, all this area is Hindu, but then Islam is practiced hugely in the area of, the entire eastern part of the country is a Muslim area, as well as that here, but it's a general mix of Hinduism and Islam, generally, in this area. So next we have Christianity, which is actually in this part of the country. So yeah, generally if you find a bit more churches, you're probably here or, yeah, generally here. Most Tamils are, either Islam or Christian, but most of the time, due to the Portuguese colonization of the country beforehand, this area is the most Christian. So yeah, you could see these percentages to yourself. I'm pausing it for some time so that you can see it. Actually, I'm going to save this image so that you could probably, yeah, sure. So Tamil is in this part of the country and this part of the country, but Indian Tamil, it's actually in Kande only. So yeah, basically what they're saying is that native Tamils existed way before in Sri Lanka. The Cholas and all those dynasties used to control northern Sri Lanka, and these are that. Several migrants came before and established their own culture. But during the British time period, in order to establish tea plantations in Sri Lanka, they needed forced laborers, and so many Tamils in India did the job for them, and most of the tea plantations are around Kande. I'm assuming so? Yeah. So I don't think this is probably a good understanding of Geoguessr in Sri Lanka. I think there's only just some information that you keep in your brains. So yeah, just remember this. I don't know. Yeah, sure. So yeah, this is Sri Lanka's topography. So let's enlarge the image once. So in the center part of Sri Lanka, you could see a lot of hills, generally rolling hills around Kande. Most of the area around the coastline is flat, especially here. Here the hills kind of extend all the way from this area all the way center, and the highest hills are here. So yeah, whenever the hilly area is there, you can probably go in Kande area, no problem. In the center, most of the coastal areas is coastal, so you probably need to distinguish between that. Now we go to the region guessing. This is good. So we have a wet climate that is very common in this area of Sri Lanka, Kande, Colombo, and Gale, this area. I don't know what is the city name, by the way. It could be anything, just inform me in the comments if I'm already wrong or not, but yeah. This area is wet climate, so you can see a lot of wet vegetation as well as that. A lot of this climate. So it has deep green most of the time. But most of the time when it's kind of, dry, you can see it has a lot of green. This is a bit yellowish, kind of savanna-like type. It's in the eastern part of the country and the northern part as well. So yeah, it's pretty distinguishable, these two types. You could probably see the landscape. This kind of type of climate you'll see in India. This type of climate, though, you could see in Kerala, with all this type of climate. You could very much see this in Sri Lanka pretty much a lot in the coastal areas, Colombo area. Okay, so tea plantations, as we already discussed, are in the Kande area, as well as that they extend to the south again. I like to call this region Gale, but I don't know why I'm calling it like that. But yeah, if you can see tea plantations, it's from Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka is pretty famous for its tea. So yeah, tea plantations in only these regions of the country. I think I have to remember that as well. Spotlight, okay. So yeah, we pretty much learned Sri Lanka on Geoguessr, so now we need to concentrate this part especially, because now we're gonna apply what we all learned in AI generated Sri Lanka, and oh shit, the average score is 6,000. You're not gonna see that many high guesses on Sri Lanka. It's pretty small, so let's just play them out and let's just see how nicely we can get Sri Lanka. And we already started in a hilly part of Sri Lanka, so already I could see the middle. So let's just see the pole. As you can see, it is a square pole. There are some needles in there, obviously. This is the typical Sri Lanka pole. It is kind of dry climate. I'm assuming it's not wet. It's dry. I think I want to guess here. Nurwa Ulea. Yeah, kind of this area, kind of climate. It kind of feels this area. I like to guess there. Nice! It's actually good. Yes, it's actually a good guess. It's in the city of Buduya. Yeah, I can understand that by the dry climate, as we have already seen. Next, this kind of feels wet climate, I'm assuming so. The language is, of course, Sinhala, as you can see over here. I'm trying not to move as much because I'm trying to practice. Yeah, Tamil is also common, so I'm thinking again, this area is not as wet. It's kind of wet. I don't see any tea plantations, though. It's not in the center. So yeah, I think we're going to guess area kind of this type of area, especially here. Because Tamil regions are kind of here, and Sri Lanka. So yeah, we could guess Annapurna for the fun of it, but I don't see anything else to confirm. So yeah, is there anything else in Sri Lanka that I think I covered? Okay, for now we're gonna move. Like, is there anything here that's kind of useful? No. Interesting. Oh, they didn't tell the camera generations. Okay, let me try. Okay, I think this is low cam in Sri Lanka. Why haven't they identified the places where low cam and crap cam are there? And, you know, generation 3. That would have been very useful for region guessing, but unfortunately, uh-oh. That's a bad idea. Okay, let's reload the map and let's play again because that did not save. That was so sad. Okay, so we're back on AI generated Sri Lanka, and so now we're gonna play the map. Oh, why is my internet down though? That's so sad. Okay, it's back. It's back. Okay, so we have the square pole top. Nice, wet type of climate. It's generation. I think it's like, yeah, I think this is low cam. Yeah, this is probably just low cam, right? No. Okay, yeah, this is low cam. I don't know why I was so concentrated on that. Okay, we have some hills. Okay, let's check the hill direction, by the way. I think these are hills. Oh, no. Yeah, they are hills. Okay, so being hills, there are hills to our north. Wet climate, I think we're going to go here, probably. Oh, apparently it was not hills. I thought it was hills. Okay, it was in the southernmost part of Sri Lanka. Not a terrible guess. Okay, now you can see the Generation 3 camera, which is in here. Okay, nice. Alright, so we have palm trees common in Sri Lanka. It's kind of wet climate. Wet climate mostly, but you can see dry. Yeah, I can see some dry climate. I'm not surprised if this is in the north. Again, I think this is the north. I'll go here. It could be a center hedge, not that much. Yeah, it's in this part of Sri Lanka. Most of the time, not bad. Ooh, this is another great round. Okay, so let me try to... Oh, there's a sign. I mean, this is dry climate in Sri Lanka. So, this is the forest department. Okay, see something. I don't see that much Tamil. So, oh wait, I think there was Tamil. Let me just check again. Yeah, there is Tamil, but unfortunately I'm unable to yeah. So, basically... Yeah, this is a holy pole, by the way. Look at that. There's another Sri Lanka cool clue that you could go by in the country. So let's just guess around here because Trikomali, Praktikola, all these areas. I'm going here, actually, Praktikola area. Oh, it was actually Jaffna. Brilliant. It did not look like anything, but the climate kind of looked like Tamil Nadu. So I'm not surprised if that was a good guess or not, but pretty bad guess, I would say, for Sri Lanka standards. Okay. So this type of a square pole again, the climate looks wet. Nah, it doesn't look dry, pretty much. Sinhala, and then after that we have ethnicity? Never mind. Okay, so being a lot wetter, I think we're going to move around for some time. We need to crack up some points because I feel bad for not getting any points for that matter. Okay, Sri Lanka, just like Bangladesh, is not an information-rich country to read in. You can see information sometimes, but most of the time it's not in English. Oh wait, we have phone numbers. Okay, nice. So 25 was in... Okay, let me try to remember. 11? 25 is in the north. Okay, nice. I didn't remember if it's Annapurna or Trikomali. I think I'll go Annapurna for this reason. Wow, that's a good guess. Thanks to phone numbers, I actually managed to learn that for some time. Nice. Phone numbers are actually useful for this country, man. I love it. This is so far one of my favorite countries, even though I'm not guessing correctly. Okay, now I have mountains to our west, I'm assuming. Yeah, mountains mostly to our west. This is low camera, by the way, in case if you want. So yeah, most of the time it's only identified by the low cam and western mountains. I think we go here, but it doesn't feel kind of dry. Is it dry? Oh yeah, it is kind of dry. I think we go here in this case then. The Victoria Randinagla Resemble Sanctuary. We go there. Yes. That's not a bad guess actually. It's in the center of the country near Uealaya. No wait, sorry, this area. Nuvara Elea. I think, yeah. So goodness to me. We actually get the average score, which is about 7,000 points. 6,900 points on Sri Lanka. Let's just play one more game. I like playing this, actually. So yeah, the square pole again. Kind of dry and coverage? Do you see any coverage that probably matters? Oh wait, Lanka, no, that doesn't make sense, of course, because I don't know where this is gonna go. Sri Lanka is not an information-rich country for this much on the buses as well. So that's so sad. But, oh, Kandy! Never mind! We actually have a good guess, but what was the time it lie? And let's try to vibe off the coverage. Okay. So, oh yeah, there's that as well. We have already learned this, and it's actually a very good clue for Sri Lanka. So goodness to me, we're learning this as well. Nice. I'm going in Kandy around this side, and it's actually a bit north, but it's the right region. It's generally the right region. If we go on a world map, it's probably too much. I think this is just generation 3 coverage again, and then we have type of roofs. Oh yeah, these type of roofs are available in the northeast in Bangladesh. So yeah, this type of coverage also, sure. Oh, it has mountains. Okay, nice. So mountains are all to our northeast, north kind of range. It's also a wet climate, which makes me think, if it's the northeast, it's going to be around this area again. I think we go here. It could be a gamble, but it could be the right guess. Never mind, it was actually here, the Sahanjara Forest Reserve. Okay. Okay, so next we have, what coverage is low cam? Okay, nice. So being low cam, I don't know. But does it have any Tamil next to it? Oh, phone number. Okay, it is 76. Wait, wasn't 7 literally? Oh, wait. I completely forgot about the phone number for 7. Wait. Okay, so I don't think 7 was even learned about. And I don't think that 7 was even covered in Sri Lanka. Let me just try to find that. Yeah, exactly, there was no 7. Where's 7? Okay, gosh damn it. If I would have learned that, I would have got the good guess, but gosh damn it, there's no good guess for this one, unfortunately. Okay, that's sad. But being 7, I think it might just be in the area of Kande, Gale, I think that area only. By the way, is this area called Gale? Oh my gosh, it's called Gale! Never mind, I actually got the good guess for that region. I mean, I got the name of that region right. So yeah, being Tamil, wait, is that Telugu? No, never mind, that's Sri Lanka, Sinhalese. Why did I thought that would be that? I guess in the middle near Kande, sorry. Hambantota. Never mind, Hambantota region. That's interesting, I never know that the region could have that phone number. So interesting. Wet climate, go somewhere like, wait, is this dry? Kind of dry like climate, actually. Never mind. So, is there Tamil anywhere on the sign? Are most of the time? No Tamil. Okay, no Tamil. Okay, there are a lot of holy poles. Again, these Sri Lankan bollards are everywhere. Anywhere in Sri Lanka to cover? Nope. I think we go in Batikola area for fun. And it was actually Trikamali. I was in the right region, at least. Kind of vibing off the region for now. Alright, this time we have somewhere... Oh, mountains. Okay, mountains are to our north this time. So being in our north, mountains being in our north, it has some coverage like that. Okay. It has mostly mountainous coverage, to be fair. So, is this Buddhist or Hindu? We haven't seen any, like, religious, things. So, yeah, this is Buddha. Lord Siddhartha Gautama. Yeah. So, of course, this is going to be in Sri Lanka, south, and I guess we're going Kande this time, because being so wet climate and seeing the mountains here, yeah, just seeing the elevation map of Sri Lanka, by the way, this is the northern mountains that we might see. So often, I think I may have cheated, but yeah, this area in Sri Lanka is just the mountains. So mountains to our north, I think we might be in Kande, to be fair, but Kande will be a bit more Hindu, generally, but I think we just go here. Okay, good guess. At least it was in a northern mountain, right? Oh, it did have some northern mountains. I think so. Yeah, pretty hard guess for an average country, but yeah, we were getting about 6,000 points every time. That was literally our average score. What was our highest score till now? 6,900. It's actually a pretty hard country. Okay, to be fair, guys, I'll practice this country a bit more, just like India and Bangladesh. So yeah, actually I want to inform you guys about my Geoguessr performance. So I've reached level 31 on Geoguessr, which is interesting. As you can see, my avatar looks pretty badass now. As you can see, it has the Geoguessr type profile picture, and with the background being this type of level, I'm very happy to be in this level actually. And for India and Bangladesh, I'm kind of improving. On the world map, I think I got silver for India, and I'm practicing Bangladesh. I'm trying my best to get good at Bangladesh, but sometimes the Generation 3 will catch me off. But anyways, that's a bit of the end of my update. I'll play the world map of Sri Lanka later, and next episode, I think we're going to cover Bhutan, just to finish off South Asia. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really wish I could have learned a bit more on Sri Lanka, but it's just distinction between the mountains, dry climate, and wet climate. Pretty interesting, but also a bit boring compared to India or Bangladesh because there is quite a bit more. But Sri Lanka, I understand you. Okay, guys. So please subscribe to the channel if you made it all the way far, and stay tuned for the next Geoguessr experience. I hope you'll ride on my back and we'll explore all over the world just to learn and get a perfect guess. Bye bye.